Experience the epic series that the world is watching and raving about. Catch up or relive the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, now on HBO On Demand, and watch back-to-back episodes anytime on your schedule. This year, join the legion of followers and enjoy past seasons of Game of Thrones, plus the premiere of Season 4 on April 6th on HBO. Don't miss out. Sign up for HBO and get free access to HBO On Demand.
Senator John Bostwick's Senate appointment revoked after he refused to resign. The F&M fires back at Fred Mitchell over U.S. spying claims, this as Bahamian and U.S. officials meet in Washington. The murder count climbs another notch, plus a Bahamian track superstar not competing in this weekend's World Relays. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Monique Toot and MV12 starts now. Topping news tonight, Governor General Sir Arthur Foulkes is expected to declare John Bostwick's Senate seat vacant. Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis advised the Governor General to revoke Bostwick's Senate appointment after the F&M senator reportedly refused to resign, despite the criminal charge against him.
Leaders must make decisions that are in the best interest of the country and not necessarily in the best interest of themselves or individuals.
With that in mind, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says he made the difficult decision to ask F&M Senator John Bostwick to step down. He says Bostwick refused.
I had subsequently asked Senator Bostwick to resign after he had not resigned as leader of the F&M and as leader of the Majesty's official opposition. I have a responsibility both to my party and a responsibility to the country.
Questions about Bostwick's political future arose after he was charged in a magistrate's court on Monday with 1 count of possession of ammunition. The attorney pleaded not guilty to the charge and was granted $9,000 bail. Dr. Minnis told the Nassau Guardian yesterday there were no immediate plans to call for his resignation. However, a letter dated May 20th, 2014 was sent to the Governor General.
I subsequently would have spoken to the Governor General, informing him that Senator Bostwick's post would be revoked and made vacant.
In that letter, Minnis wrote, "It is with deep regret that I write to advise Your Excellency that the appointment of Senator John Henry Bostwick II be revoked with immediate effect." Bostwick's attorney and father J. Henry Bostwick QC issued this statement this morning, noting, on the morning of his arraignment, John Bostwick, at his request, had letters of resignation brought to him for his signature. However, on the advice of independent counsel and other senior advisors, he did not tender the same, as it was felt that doing so would have the appearance of an admission of guilt when he had pleaded not guilty. It is alleged the 42-year-old was found with 10 live rounds of .22 ammunition on Saturday. Police say the ammunition was found in Bostwick's travel bag as it went through the baggage X-ray machine at Grand Bahama International Airport. Despite what has transpired, Minnis says there is no bad blood between Bostwick and party leaders.
Senator Bostwick, I love as a son. Senator Bostwick is a very intelligent individual. He has great futuristic plans and views of where this country can and should go. And he's still a part of the Free National Movement, and he will continue to remain a member and have input in the direction of this country and the direction of the Free National Movement.
Bostwick's attorney says he recognizes the F&M leader and the party must do what they have to do and remains a born free nationalist. Bostwick was appointed to the Senate in January 2013. He replaced Shavargo Lang, who resigned from the upper chamber in November 2012. Minnis says the party has not yet identified a replacement, but officials will make a decision in short order.
I have no one in particular, but the Free National Movement has a very, very deep bench, and it would not be difficult for us to find somebody to replace him.
The former minister responsible for Foreign Affairs and Immigration today lashing out at the suggestion that the Free National Movement may have to account to the Bahamian people over claims that the United States National Security Agency is recording and keeping every cell phone call within the Bahamas. Christina McNeil sat down with former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet today and filed this report.
Former Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Brent Simonet says Mitchell's comments are not only irresponsible but outrageous to suggest that the Free National Movement administration knew about claims that the NSA is allegedly listening in on Bahamian cell phone conversations.
To say that the FNM illegally gave permission for the United States to come into our country, or metaphorically, and to wiretap and listen to every telephone conversation is outrageous to say the least. And the Minister Mitchell is being totally irresponsible.
The allegations stem from documents leaked by NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, which describe a surveillance system called Somalget. That system is allegedly designed to collect and store full-take audio of every mobile call made within the Bahamas, storing it for up to 30 days. Mitchell yesterday suggesting that, based on the timelines of the alleged spying, the capturing of cell phone calls occurred while the FNM was in government. Simonet says it is a red herring to suggest that the FNM was aware of any alleged spying, but he notes that it is no secret that the Bahamas government at times cooperates with other countries for the exchange of information. However, he says it's all done within the law.
It is fair to say that locally, the Attorney General, the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs are from time to time involved with discussions of countries around the world as to intelligence gathering which relate to criminal or illegal activities in the Bahamas. From those areas, we have to be knowledgeable that there is an exchange of information between the respective governments. And it's done within protocols that are established for such transfer of information and making sure that it is not abused.
Simonet says the Bahamian public deserves answers, and for the minister to present categorical information or proof one way or another. Otherwise, he says Mitchell can potentially whip up mass hysteria and damage the Bahamas' reputation.
And that is just one aspect of how this issue could be taken by persons reading this article on Facebook or through your websites or whatever. So it is very dangerous. To try and throw up a red herring that the former administration knew what was happening is just taking him away from his responsibilities, which he should act on rather than flying all over the world and attending meetings wherever they may be. I think this is a more serious issue, and I would have, in my case, probably would have canceled my CARICOM meeting and stayed here to address this issue of national importance to the Bahamas.
Simonet says if he were still minister, he would have handled the situation a little differently, going directly to U.S. government officials and asking them if there is any truth to the claims. Reporting for NB12, I'm Christina McNeil.
Meantime, FNM Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner also fired back at Mitchell today, asserting his comments were disingenuous. She says, according to documents FNM officials have read, the alleged spying began in 2012 after the Progressive Liberal Party took office. She says there is nothing that implicates the Free National Movement.
It's disingenuous for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to even attempt to implicate the Free National Movement administration into this alleged spying that is taking place. So we have no questions to answer in that regard. Their duty is to the Bahamian people. This administration needs to find out what is going on in our country as it relates to NSA and report to us.
In fact, she says the bigger question is why the government was in such a hurry to create the controversial National Intelligence Agency, which she suggested earlier this month might be spying on Bahamians. She questioned whether the NIA was created to accommodate the NSA.
Why is it that the government of the Bahamas then, since they want to engage both of these two entities, why is it that this Christie administration found it necessary to rush to create an NIA? Is that the partner that is collaborating with the NSA. This was not an entity that existed under the Free National Movement. This entity only came into being without the proper legislation post-2012. So if any answers need to be had, I would suggest that those answers need to be gotten both from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of National Security, who on his own admission has said there is no legal framework for the operation of the NIA.
And Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis has urged Bahamians to remain calm and asserted that the F&M should search its own files in light of claims that the NSA is selecting, recording, and archiving every cell phone conversation in the Bahamas.
We urge all Bahamians to remain calm about this matter, keeping our eyes on the fundamentals of the relationship between the two states and our longer-term interests. This does not, however, derogate from the principles of the rule of law and the respect for the right to privacy. Given the comments of the opposition with regard to this matter,
Davis says Bahamian and U.S. government officials were scheduled to meet this morning and confirmed that they met in Washington, D.C. Tuesday afternoon. He says the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bahamian ambassador to the U.S., and deputy chief of missions met with the U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State.
there was an exchange of views. The Bahamas side sought a full and frank explanation of the allegations. The U.S. side undertook to respond. We agreed to await for that response.
Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said yesterday the Bahamas government has demanded a full explanation from the U.S. over spying claims and insisted that if such reports are true, it is clearly illegal and represents a great moral failing on the part of the perpetrators. In crime news, a man was shot and killed on Mermaid Boulevard off Carmichael Road this morning, pushing the murder count for 2014 to 49. Police say the victim, believed to be in his 30s, was shot multiple times in the area around 1 this morning and ran into a public restroom at a park. That's where his bullet-riddled body was discovered. EMS personnel pronounced him dead on the scene. Investigations continue. Officials had to pull a woman from her vehicle today after a car accident on Soldier Road left her and 2 others injured. According to head of the Police Traffic Department, Superintendent Craig Stubbs, officers received reports shortly after 3 p.m. that 2 cars had collided. Stubbs said officers responded and discovered that the occupants of one of the vehicles, a woman and a young boy, were seriously injured.
We met 2 cars. One was apparently traveling south and one was traveling north. 2 female drivers. For some reason, both vehicles collided head-on. The female driver of the Nissan Sunny was apparently pinned within the vehicle in the driver's side. Fire service extricated her from the vehicle. The male child received some head injuries.
Stubbs said the woman and child were not wearing seatbelts. He explained they might have struck the front windshield of the car, which was extensively damaged. He urged motorists to buckle up.